Now we're going to walk through each component of the business model canvas. As we're going through each component, we'll also map it out with an example for Zoom, which is a company that creates software for video conferencing. First up is key partners. Key partners help build or deliver the product to users. These could be resellers or other partners like payment processors. Looking at Zoom, their product is mostly software-based, but they do work with partners to outfit conference rooms with cameras, TVs, and tablets. And they also work with system integrators to integrate their technology into existing spaces. They also work with payment processors in order to collect money from their customers. Next is key activities. Key activities are the things that need to happen in order to build your product. For Zoom, there's two big activities: development of the technology and sales and support. Next, we have key resources. Key resources are things that you need in order to deliver value to the user. This could be people, intellectual property, financial backing, or any other type of resource. Going back to Zoom, data centers are important in order to deliver the streaming video to participants. Zoom also likely has a compression algorithm that allows them to deliver high-quality video while reducing the amount of bandwidth required. Next, let's talk about the costs that are associated with building the product. This could include both fixed costs, like salary of the development team, and variable costs that increase as the product grows, like data center capacity. It's also important to think through which activities and resources are the most expensive. So going back to the Zoom example, I think that the two biggest costs will be people and data centers. Next is value proposition. The value prop explains why someone would want your product. In Zoom's case, their value prop is that they've built a video conferencing product that works really, really well. Their product also works on phones, laptops, and in conference rooms that have TVs. And it can scale. It can support over 1,000 participants in a call, which is kind of crazy to think about. The next component is customer relationships. Think of this as how you are going to build a relationship with your customer, including through interactions in the product. You'll want to make sure to think about building relationships with both the person using the product and the person who purchases the product. This is often the same for consumer products, but can vary for enterprise products. With Zoom, at the end of every call, they ask the user to rate the call. This allows the team to get insight about how the product is performing from the customer's perspective. And as a customer, it also makes me feel like if I had a bad experience, that someone is going to be looking at that data to improve the product in the future. For Zoom, it'll also be important to think about how to build a relationship with the decision maker who decided to purchase the product. In this case, it's likely the IT department. Next is channels. Channels is all about how you get the product to the customer. It's also important to think about which channels work best and which are the most cost-effective. Going back to the Zoom example, there are 3 channels that I noticed. They have their website where people can sign up and purchase the product directly. They have referrals as well. So for example, if I'm a Zoom customer and I invite you to a Zoom meeting, you learn about the product through my referral. And lastly, they have resellers who sell the product on their behalf. The next component is customer segments. This is all about understanding who are your customers and which customer is the most important. In the Zoom example, their customer is really distributed people or teams who need to collaborate and communicate. This is really, really broad, and you can split it into further segments such as SMBs, enterprise, education, healthcare, and even government. And lastly is revenue streams. What are customers willing to pay for, how much, and how do they pay? For Zoom, the main revenue stream is through subscriptions. There's several different tiers of subscriptions, with more expensive subscriptions offering more features and functionality. We just walked through all of the components of the business model canvas, as well as created an example canvas for Zoom. I know it was a lot to cover and walk through, but the business model canvas is a really helpful tool to map out and understand all of the components that you need to build a product and a successful business.